Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. Chapter 1. The Bet. Here's your newspaper, sir. Thank you. The Daily Telegraph, London, Wednesday, 2nd of October, 1872. Bank of England robbed. Daring robbery puzzles London police. £55,000 mysteriously disappeared from the cashier's desk at the Bank of England on Monday, 30th of September. The robbery was discovered when the cashier returned to his desk after serving a customer. Since there were no guards in the room, no one actually witnessed the crime. However, other clerks and customers noticed a well-dressed young gentleman enter and leave the room. Police believe this may be the bank robber, and a detailed description has been given to the detectives in all major ports in England and abroad. Well, without any guards, what do they expect? Thought Phileas Fogg. He continued reading his paper as other members of the Reform Club sat playing cards, talking and drinking the best tea in London. The sound of their conversation did not bother him. Although Fogg was a rich and respected Englishman like the others, he was very different from them. He was a handsome man in his early 40s who liked routine. He liked to sit alone in the same armchair, in the same room, at the same time every day. His routine never changed, but today's news would change Phileas Fogg's life forever. Page 8. Several hours passed, and after dinner, some other members entered the reading room. Thomas Flanagan, a businessman, was talking about the latest news. Any news about the robber? He'll never escape. The police told me that their best detectives are all over the city and the rest of the world looking for him, said Gauthier Ralph, one of the directors of the Bank of England. Have they got a description? Asked Andrew Stewart, an engineer. At that point, Fogg folded his newspaper, placed it on the table beside him, and joined the conversation. The Daily Telegraph says that a well-dressed gentleman was in the paying room when the money disappeared. A description of him was then given to the detectives. Ralph nodded. I'm sure they'll get him. There's a reward of £2,000. Any detective would be eager to catch him for that kind of money. But then it won't be easy for him. Even if he gets out of the country, where could he go? Where could he hide? Asked Stewart. Lots of places. Fogg believed nothing was impossible. There are many places he could go. Traveling is faster and easier these days. The world is getting smaller. Why, just today, the Telegraph has an article which says it's possible to travel around the world in only 80 days. They even show the exact route. Fogg showed them the article, but Stewart only laughed. Yes, of course, traveling is a lot faster now, Fogg, but around the world in 80 days? It's impossible. What about bad weather and railway accidents? There are hundreds of problems that could stop you. Page 9. Page 10. Now the others began to laugh too. Fogg was a proud man, and their laughter made him angry. He stood up and looked at them. "I'll bet you I can do it." "I'd like to see you, and I'll bet you 4,000 pounds that you can't." "And I'll bet you 20,000 that I can." Fogg's friends looked at each other. It was a lot of money. They went and talked about it in a corner of the room. When they agreed that Fogg could not win, Stewart turned to him. "We accept." Fogg looked at them calmly. "Excellent. Today is Wednesday, 2nd of October, 1872. The train to Dover leaves at 8:45 p.m. I'll be on it, and I'll be back in this room on Saturday, the 21st of December, at 8:45 p.m., after a trip around the world. Good night, gentlemen." Fogg marched out of the room and left the Reform Club for his home. Fogg's valet was shocked to see his master arrive home so early. Jean Passepartout was a pleasant young Frenchman with curly brown hair and a moustache. Although he was rather new in his position with Mr. Fogg, he knew that if his master said he would be home at midnight, as he was every night of his life, he meant exactly at midnight, and not a minute before or after. "Passepartout, we are catching the 8:45 to Dover. Don't pack any bags. We're traveling light." "What do you mean, sir?" "We are going around the world in 80 days. Bring my traveling coat." Page 11. Passepartout was too shocked to speak. He simply did as his master told him. He rushed upstairs, thinking about the many kinds of jobs he had in the past, when he was still in France: a singer, a firefighter, a teacher of gymnastics, even a circus acrobat. He was so tired of traveling from place to place. He took the job with Fogg, hoping to work in a normal, stable home, where life was as regular as clockwork. Until now, he thought he had. With a long face, Passepartout carried out the order, while his master prepared for the journey. Fogg took 20,000 pounds from his safe and put the money in a small traveling bag. He also packed the Daily Telegraph, which showed their route, and a guidebook with the timetables they would need for the trains and ships. When Passepartout returned, Fogg gave him the bag. "This is everything we need, including 20,000 pounds. Take care of it." Passepartout nervously took the bag and followed his master into a cab for Charing Cross railway station.